Hey everyone, Pastor George here with day number 2 in our paranormal series for our Theologs, and today we're going to be talking about ghosts. Ooh, yeah. So, ghosts do actually, unlike aliens yesterday, a ghost actually does appear in the Bible. It's in 1 Samuel 28, where Saul consults with a witch of Endor to bring up Samuel's spirit so that he can talk to him and ask him for help in his war that he's currently fighting. And we'll get into that in a little bit. I'll start with my first opinion on ghosts. So a lot of people have ghost stories, and a lot of people have seen ghosts or have been around, say they've seen ghosts, I guess, and have been around weird stuff happening. And so I know some people in the congregation have had weird experiences and stuff like that, and I'm not going to deny that weird things happen like that. But I am going to say that I do not believe in ghosts, and that those other things that you maybe experienced must have been either a demon, which I will talk about at some other point, or some natural phenomenological thing. So firstly, the reason I don't believe in ghosts is because I think the Bible is very clear about what happens to people after they die. And that is that we are judged, right? So we are judged whether or not we are worthy of living in God's kingdom forever in heaven or sent to hell, right? I think that's what the New Testament teaches over and over again. And they clearly knew about ghosts because, like, some of Jesus' disciples think he's a ghost when he's first risen, and he goes, "No, not a ghost. You can touch my hands and touch my side. I'm a real person." That type of stuff. So they definitely had a concept, and that's one thing that ghosts kind of have going for it, is every culture all around the world has this concept of ghosts, right? It's in all sorts of folklore and stuff like that. And so what I chalk a lot of that up to is demons coming back and talking to people, but I'll get into that a little bit later. And so now we're going to deal with 1 Samuel. And so in 1 Samuel, Samuel is the prophet, and he anoints Saul king, right? And Saul becomes king, and then he starts breaking the rules that God has chosen or given, and he ends up losing his throne to David. But while he's trying to hold on to that throne, he goes through all of these different ways of doing that, and one of those is to consult with this medium, the witch of Endor, which is funny because it's a Star Wars thing. But anyway, he goes there and he gets her to raise a ghost of Samuel, and Samuel goes, "Why are you disturbing me?" And Saul is like, "I need your help." And he goes, "Well, you've just lost it even more, because not only have you broken these original commandments, but now you've broken yet another commandment by God for consulting with a medium," right? So one of the things that the Old Testament is really big on, and the New Testament too, but the Old Testament in the law codes is like, don't talk to necromancers, don't talk to mediums or any of those types of people that say they can speak to the dead. They're lying or they're possessed or whatever. So don't do it. It's not kosher. And so Saul does that, and he loses even more standing and stuff like that. And so that brings us to today with modern kind of things with ghosts. So just to let you know, like, again, people in my life believe in ghosts. My mom believed in ghosts. She said that when I was a kid, I saw ghosts. I don't remember seeing any ghosts, but whatever. And I don't think, people who see these things are dumb. I do think that, though, that we as Christians know that we are judged after death, and that if demons, as we know, do exist from Scripture, then they're going to use different ways to pull people away from God, right? And one of the ways that I've seen people do that is with ghosts, and they get them really into ghosts and summoning people from the dead and getting people away and off their minds of things that are gods and more towards these really weird spiritual practices and stuff like that. So I generally say that, ghosts don't exist, and if you did see something, it's probably a demon. If you think it was positive, then maybe it was an angel. Again, I've never experienced any supernatural thing in my life, so this is all just conjecture because I use Scripture as my basis, right? So I go to Scripture, I see what Scripture says, and if we believe that God is sovereign and powerful, then he's going to have control over all this stuff, and then it probably wasn't a ghost because we know what happens to people after they die. So that's my general thoughts about ghosts. if you have any questions or whatever, shoot me back. I look forward to dialoguing with you if you do. But tomorrow we're going to talk about angels. Actually, no. You know what? Tomorrow we're going to talk about astrology. I have a bone to pick with that. So we'll do astrology tomorrow. So I'll see you all tomorrow.